play it here. I think it's far more likely that he goes for something like this now, which he's also, a big fan of for Inkies, but also certainly it's one of Shianzu's signature picks. So, that being said, Shianzu's not at all upset with settling for the Estelle here. This is Rasmus Estelle that Showtime have managed to secure on one of the strongest maps that you can possibly play that offensive duo. And meanwhile, it's a little bit more unconventional comp on the side of the Soondubu Strikers. They've got shapeshifting on this Era goalie, Freezy on Juliet, and of course Grimella on the Now. So it's in the same sense that this series is, kind of the old versus the new. We have the old classic comp played by Showtime, and something that I've never seen before played by the Soondubu Strikers. But we'll see how it plays out, because it's Soondubu who find their barrier first.
Yeah, a lot of just straight up fast running. Oh, what a save from Barcode with the strike shot, and that results in a barrier getting taken here as well. That guy locking in right here. Fires the water jet, and Jianzu setting up the piercing strike, but Joker right there to finish it off. That was a crazy offensive push from Soondubu Strikers. They brought the whole squad to just run up the field, and Barcode destroyed it all with a single strike shot save there. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Barcode is kind of the strike shot maestro, I'll be honest. We really saw Barcode's rise to fame and greatness in the era where strike shot was like really the only playable goalie gear. And now that we're in a little bit more of a balanced meta where you can kind of play all of the goalie gears to some extent, Barcode is still making strike shot look like the most broken thing in this game. He finds some absolutely insane plays with it. So it's not going to be the last one we're going to see today. But this time, both teams getting down their barriers once more. But it's Joker and Shianzu who are getting consistently more offensive attempts here, having a little bit more pressure in the midfield.
Yeah, Shianzu and Joker definitely able to keep possession of this thing for a lot longer. Core flip here from shapeshifting, but Shianzu just a piercing shot to keep the control up, in the Joker. Nice dribble to bring it all the way around the defenses of Soondubu Strikers, and Grimilla not quite fast enough to be able to catch up, even with the speed. Another point over here for Showtime. So far, asserting their dominance early on in this set, and we'll see if they're going to be able to close it out here. Breezy does pick up the quick barrier, but the Joker firing right back in return. A piercing shot sets them up, and they're not able to find the good Soren angle. It'll just bounce right in, and Showtime taking set one.
Yeah, well played from them. Barcode getting some real numbers in with those Mako secondaries. There isn't really a ranged stun except now primary, or maybe like a fully formed Arenado on the side of Soondubu Strikers. So Barcode is going to get so much value off of those Mako secondaries. And when, the two people that you're buffing are Shianzu and Joker, it's massive news. Especially when Joker gets some extra size from this draft, and we're looking at a heavy impact Shianzu Estelle. But Soondubu Strikers are also pretty pleased with this draft. Grimella gets Monumentalist out of that. Shapeshifting is rocking team player. And 3Z gets more speed. So I think that, all things considered, it's a pretty even draft. But certainly there needs to be a little... Well, okay, wow, that was beautiful there from 3Z and Grimella finding that first goal. I was about to say, there needs to be a little bit more defensive resilience on the side of Soondubu Strikers to make it through the onslaught of abilities that can be thrown out by Showtime. But they did it just then. They pushed through the opening onslaught and then found a barrier and a goal shortly thereafter. So let's see if they can replicate it.
I feel like this team player should definitely be helping them out quite a bit. The name of the game seems to really just be run fast, hit core fast for Soondubu Strikers here. And we'll see if they're able to make that work or not. Looks like they've got some of the tools necessary, but the Joker throwing out that hook made things a little bit scary for a moment right now. The pressure coming out big between these two forwards. I mean, the Joker and Shianzu have some of the best forward synergy of, in my opinion, almost anyone in the North American Strikers League. They show it time and time again. They're almost always on the same page for what's going on, and they're about to have some core flips up. Soondubu gonna have some to match. Xianzu burning his for the KO there. Gramilla gonna burn one, sending it across the field, gets rotated back around, forces shapeshifting to go for the flip as well, and there's the Joker looking for a KO. Doesn't quite find it though. They'll be able to stall out this power play. Breezy back online, but now it's Gramilla who gets taken down. Xianzu pretty staggered, but drops the Thorns just in time to beat Shapeshifting Strike. And Showtime come up in that point, and we'll tie it 1-1 in set 2.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking incredibly dominant. You take such a strong offensive duo, not just in terms of, you know, these characters, Rasmus and Estelle, but like you said, Joker and Xianzu have incredible synergy as players. And you give them this Mako speed from behind, and of course you've got Barcode playing comfort as well this game. And it's a recipe for some seriously oppressive offense that Showtime can churn out. And I mean, even in between, you know, all of these abilities that Rasmus and Estelle have to throw out, the Joker and Xianzu are just winning strike wars left, right, and center. So it's constantly putting Soondubu Strikers at a massive disadvantage on defense and really making them work to make progress in these points.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely having to put in twice the effort for what feels like half of the result. Showtime almost making it look easy for the moment, but going into overtime here, Soondubu Strikers holding on against this open goal and looking for a barrier of their own. They've got 2 flips to work with, though. Showtime are going to have some of their own in just a moment here. Gramilla first to burn, a pass for 3Z Breezy. Got hit stunned, but looking for a shot on the barrier. Barcode right there to block it. Gramilla looking for a pass up again, but the Joker able to intercept, and now a hook up to the Joker. Almost takes it to the top side, but shapeshifting just fast enough to catch it out. 3Z Breezy going to pick up the KO, drop the full combo in the flip to take Xianzu off the map. A big power play here for the Soondubu Strikers. Flurries come out, not able to catch the core. There's the water cannon, but the core on the wrong side. Shapeshifting going to be able to send it right back in. Team player passes coming out. They get it at the 3Z, and that's the barrier gone. Both sides opened up here. Water cannon from Shapeshifting sends it all the way up to 3Z Breezy. Xianzu trying to stop it, but doesn't quite have the angle, and 3Z able to find the dash punch, stuffing it in, and Soondubu Strikers bring it to set point.
Yeah, well done there, those Soondubu Strikers. If they can last till overtime, their odds of scoring go significantly up. Those team player passes gave such high value there multiple times, and they also had fantastic coordination around their water cannon there at the end. Sent it onto the far side so that Xianzu couldn't influence it, couldn't pull it out of that water cannon, and got it up to 3Z at just the time that he wanted it. So yeah, certainly. But that being said, they might not even have to wait. That was a perfect play, not only getting up to 3Z to snag that barrier, but then immediately sending it back down to Gramilla to set up the goal. And that's a tie-up in the sets to the side of the Soondubu Strikers.
Yeah, big, potentially pivotal moment here. Breezy Breezy, first pick, Fight or Flight, we see on the board, we see a couple sparks here as well as Twin Drive and Extra Special. Demo possibly available, though I don't know if anyone's going to go for it. It'll be Twin Drive for Xianzu, 1 spark going to 3Z. Fight or Flight on the now, just continuing to build this speed. Demo will go over to the Joker for the extra size. Shapeshifting picking up the aerials. It's a good haste awakening. Also denies away from the Mako. I think that's a pretty big pickup there. Extra Special going untouched as Barcode opts for the Spark of Leadership to match the Spark of Speed that he started with. So pretty interesting choices here on that Spark start. We've got a couple double Sparkers out here now.
Yeah, I definitely think that Shapeshifting, picking up that aerials, was an incredibly smart play. Like I pointed out earlier, Barcode pretty much gets these Mako secondaries off for free, unless Gramilla and 3Z are able to apply enough pressure to him that he has to release it mid-channel. They generally, you know, are able to get full value out of this. That being said, very nice passing play from there. Even with the Mako speed, Xianzu caught a little too far towards the top of the goal. A nice strike war against the Rose Warp from Gramilla will secure the first goal. It looks like Soondubu Strikers are finally hitting their stride in this match.
Yeah, I mean, they are flying across the map right now. They got the haste bonuses. They have the, you know, all the speed is like really coming online now. The aerials from Shapeshifting is definitely helping put in extra work in Gramilla as well. Seeing that extra, that double 6 kicks value almost. They're able to move around with, make this normally slow Juliet character quite mobile. That being said, Soondubu Strikers do have their barrier down at the moment and are looking to try and even up the playing state. 3Z has a flip available, won't need it for this barrier. Grimilla looking to set up on that goal gate. Will bounce right off though, unfortunately. Shape-shifting, pass down to Grimilla here. Looking to pop the water cannon. Just cut off part of the map for a little bit, but the snare drums from Barcode going to shut down most of that play. Dribble here into Corflip from Shape-shifting. A perfect pass to 3Z Breezy. In the corner, it doesn't catch it with the flurries. Grimilla, though, right behind him, pushing up. Corflip KO from 3Z and dunks it right in. Soondubu Strikers now bringing it to set point, and they are looking to turn this game completely on its head.
Yeah, 3Z able to threaten so much more with that spark of power, now rocking 140 power on that Juliet. And, I mean, he was, sort of pressuring and controlling space with that dash punch for most of last point, but finally found Barcode getting complacent in the back of the net and snagged that KO. But, I mean, this is a classic Inky's point happening right here from Showtime. Quickly get the barrier down in the first 15 seconds, and then the water cannon forces nearly all of the defense out from the side of Soondubu Strikers, but they managed to find a barrier of their own and are now looking to end the set right here.
Grimilla strikes on net here. 3Z jumping in the mix as well, but Xianzhu able to hold strong in the corner. The Joker also trying to fall back and just get the core away from these two. They move so fast, it's hard to catch them. Finally able to push it back over. Showtime with an opportunity, but Shapeshifting just sending it right back across as the tornado set up. Joker trying to lob it back in to the offensive zone and able to find the strike war against Shapeshifting he's looking for and take it right into the goal. Showtime able to put a point up on the board here in this third set. Soondubu Strikers still in a pretty good position. They do have to deal with a couple of core flips from Showtime's side. We'll see if they're able to close this set out.
Now we'll see. I will say one thing that I do want to point out is how much speed Barcode is rocking. When he's got this glass cannon maxed out, this dude has had 563 speed, the fastest base speed of anyone in this lobby, which is definitely helping him to make up for some of the weaknesses of this Mako character, right? She's really slow. Sometimes it's hard for her to control large spaces, like this massive Inky's barrier. So Barcode having all this speed to respond to what 3Z and Grimilla are putting out a little bit more is definitely giving Showtime a lot more options than they would normally have. That being said, those options are being cut down rapidly as the Joker gets KO'd by 3Z Breezy and the barrier is shortly thereafter.
Water cannon activated. 3Z in position, gets it around the drum and bass from Barcode, and Soondubu Strikers will be closing out this set now, taking a total of 2 sets of their own. Grimilla going to be the MVP of this one. To see what's on the board. Siege Machine, Missile Prop. We got another Spark, importantly. With so many people going double Spark so far, that might be a big ticket item, but it will be Hot Shot here for Grimilla. Xianzhu only has 1 Spark at the moment, but we'll just opt for the double to prevent 3Z from becoming effectively the mayor. The recovery drone for the Juliet. Spec training here for the Joker. Missile Prop for Era. Good deny once again against Barcode, who's going to have to settle for the Siege Machine, which is still going to give that those projectiles that extra long range and the creations. That cage will definitely be hurting hard, as I think 3Z is about to find out right now. I mean, stuck in there off kickoff.
Yeah, that was definitely a draft of denies, right? Really the only big winners there were Grimilla and the Joker. That spec training Rasmus is quite dangerous. We've already seen the Joker get some crazy plays with hit stuns on the Death's Touch. And with that spec training now, those hit stuns are only more deadly from here on out. But Grimilla, already, having Timeless and Monumentalist, and now Hot Shot, all of his abilities, but in particular that secondary, are just that much more valuable, and he has so many more of them with Hot Shot now, right? Oh my gosh, a whiffed strike there almost sent the point away in favor of the Soondubu Strikers, but Xianzhu and Barcode able to push back 3Z Breezy, who now has a flip, but is staggered in the midfield. Meanwhile, the forwards of Showtime find not just the barrier, but also a goal. They'll take point 1.
Yeah, core flip from Joker. Bit of an edgy point there. Almost fell away, but it's going to be 1 flip for each side heading into point 2 here. We go into the kickoff. Looks like Soondubu Strikers able to win it and bring it into that bottom corner. Core flip from Xianzhu to try and get it out of there. The drum's getting dropped across the map. But 3Z able to recover and push up. Uses the core flip here on the wall. Barcode able to make the block. The Joker trying to recover possession. The Thorns dropping, but shapeshifting right there to block it away and save the barrier. Now 3Z pressing hard on that bottom side. Not able to find too much, though. Shapeshifting with the core. Trying to lob it back around. And now we see both teams just kind of scrambling for possession to try and bring down these barriers. It will be the Joker who comes out on top with the Whiplash speed boost. Bring down the first barrier. Water cannon activated for Showtime. Elusive from Grimilla to stay alive. The tornado comes out. The Joker barely able to survive that one. Beyonce winning the strike war and bringing it up to the top side. The Joker trying to find possession. Core flip comes out from shapeshifting. Blocked by the ensnare drums. It almost gets piercing shotted into the goal. Barely able to save that one with the strike. Soondubu Strikers, though, need to bring down this barrier here in overtime. A speed boost up with the Joker with the hook into Whiplash. Able to force it through shapeshifting. And will be set point for Showtime.
Now, the Joker has 2 size awakenings, which with the help of the Mako secondary means that this Rasmus is rocking over 50% size buff when Barcode is channeling that secondary. It makes the Whiplash an incredibly oppressive tool, more than it usually is, right? Because he can pretty much walk right alongside that secondary. He's probably going to channel another one right here as the water cannon comes up. If he can steal it away from 3Z here, the Joker is going to pretty much immediately be able to chug it through shapeshifting. There we go. Out comes the Whiplash. He does immediately use it, though, to try to kill 3Z. Xianzu will be the one to finish it off there. But yeah, no, definitely when the Mako secondary is up, there is potential for about a million different ways that Showtime can make plays happen on the barrier or goal of the Soondubu Strikers. So they have to be really careful. Really careful when Barcode has that secondary up.
Snare drums dropping here again. Xianzu looking to catch the core, but 3Z comes out with it and brings it to the top corner. Big defense. Barcode able to clear it to the bottom side. Shapeshifting up in the midfield, dropping the NATO, looking for the charge up. But the Joker able to clear it and get it off of their side of the field. Barcode and Grimilla both are fully available. Grimilla purge it quick from the midfield all the way to the bottom corner. Takes it right into that goal. Soondubu Strikers staying in this point so far. And still 2 away, by the way, from taking game 1 if they can win this set. Barcode still has a flip available, so it'll be a good defensive stand here from Showtime.
Yeah, the defensive flip here, of course, you know, Barcode putting out numbers on the Mako goalie, but I really got to talk about Grimilla and shapeshifting a little bit and how wonderful they're doing with this defense, especially as they get that fantastic sequence of saves. A beautiful set of 1 interactions there will successfully take the core off their barrier. But yeah, I mean, I've been talking about the importance of the Mako secondary for the side of Showtime. The Era and Now secondaries are exactly what are allowing the Soondubu Strikers to actually contest Joker and Xianzu when they're sped up like that, right? And Shapeshifting and Grimilla have been doing a fantastic job using those on defense. Like, look, there we go. The Era secondary comes out, and pretty much immediately Grimilla is able to worm around the Joker and clear it out. Unfortunately, the Joker, with that specialized training, is able to find a play shortly thereafter and grab the barrier, but definitely we're seeing both visions come out. That is a scary power play, though, in favor of Showtime.
Oh, a nice redirect there from 3 to find the sword angle, but Showtime, shots on net, up to Joker here. Grimilla able to respawn, but this core is moving very fast here in overtime. 1 misstep, and it could all be over. Shapeshifting has to be real careful with his positioning, even with all the speed that he's got. And they still got to bring down this barrier. Barcode almost has another flip available again. That's how long this round has taken so far. Xianzu with the core, just rotating it around 3Z. Almost effortlessly. They got to get into a corner. The Joker looking for the hook play. Has the core flip available here, but 3Z just barely able to connect with the flurries and buy a little bit of time now. Up to 3Z Breezy, but Barcode lobbing it back in. The Joker with the pendulum swing gets control of it and finds the shot to the bottom side, and it will be a set 5 here. Showtime dragging this one out, and the Joker will be the MVP.
Still plenty of scaling potential on this Rasmus. We have Might of the Colossus here. We have Bulk Up. He could potentially grab some speed in the forms of stacks on stacks or a Haste Awakening. It looks like he's going to go for stacks on stacks. The Joker, as an Octavia main, is a big fan of any form of speed he can get his hands on, so it makes sense there. That'll be prime time on Xianzhu. But the Haste Awakenings fall to Gramella and Shapeshifting. That provides some absolutely massive burst speed potential for the side of Soondubu Strikers, and with extra power falling down to 3Z Breezy, this is the strongest that they will have been this whole game. So I think that Soondubu stands a really good chance to take it home here. But if Showtime can keep their momentum from the previous set, it is still anyone's game one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has kind of been back and forth the entire time. I mean, so many good awakenings coming out there, and Core gonna slip on through just a little bit. 3Z picking up the goal there. It's a little bit of a defensive collapse there from Showtime for a moment, but that's all that Soondubu needed. And I mean, Shapeshifting is gonna pop one speed boost, and they essentially can fly across the map and reposition very, very quickly. Look how far up he's willing to play on Inkies, because he knows he's got that net. Look at that! Look how fast they can run now. Oh my goodness. They do lose the barrier here though, with the offensive snare drums up in their faces, but they have some energy to work with. 3Z has a flip. Gramilla's almost going to have the flip, and Shapeshifting should have one shortly. 3Z first to burn it, brings down the barrier. Going to block off the hook from Joker. Core flip from the Joker, blocked by the punch from 3Z. They activate the water cannon. They bring it all the way up. 3Z trying to get in position, forcing Barcode to make some crazy saves, but eventually they will keep it out for the moment. Xianzhu up to Barcode, trying to get it past 3Z Breezy here, and force Shapeshifting to make some kind of interactions. But they're just keeping the core on Showtime's side of the field for so long right now. Xianzhu blinking up with the snare drums. Finally, some leverage in Showtime's favor, but Shapeshifting has a flip available and is just going to hold right on. Gramella forcing it back out across the midfield line. Barcode making the save here, though. Shapeshifting back down as we head into overtime. Tornado coming out. Xianzhu forced to back very far up. 3Z Breezy now with possession in the top side. Xianzhu trying to get him to back off Gramella, racing to the bottom side, up to 3Z Breezy, looking for the dash punch, able to connect and send it in. It is a match point for Soondubu Strikers.
Yeah, such a clean offense from them. That being said, not a completely rewardless couple of points for Showtime. The Joker is rocking 110 stacks, but that's the barrier down already, Lego.
Did you see it? Did you see, like, there was, like, about 3 frames of kickoff and, like, 18, like, things that happened in those, like, 3 frames? Because everyone just, like, ran at that core at Mach speed. But now it's Soondubu Strikers with the open nets and looking to close out this game 1. 3 dribbling up in the dash rush is going to be enough. Textbook Juliet right there to close out game 1 for the Soondubu Strikers. A great start against the reigning champs. It'll be looking really good for them going into map 2.
So I tried to catch those speed numbers. I believe when Gramella was popping that secondary, he was getting the whole team, generally, because he had both Monu and Timeless to reach that now secondary to everybody. He was getting pretty much the whole team of Soondubu Strikers up to about 750 speed. When Shapeshifting would pop his secondary, it was getting the whole team up to 850, or in the case of 3Z, 900 speed, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, I mean, there was I was really laser focused on like the guaranteed Mako secondaries for the first part of that game. I thought that those were going to be super valuable, that Barcode was going to be able to get them out. But at the end of the day, so many Haste Awakenings, all 3 Haste Awakenings falling to Shapeshifting and Gramella, just gave them all of the speed that they needed to totally override any value that those Mako secondaries could be getting off and just rule the match. I mean, look, this is Gramella with 248 redirects, only 1 less than Xianzhu, but when you look at the goals and assists, it's clear what direction the tempo of this game was headed in. Gramella assisting off of 7 of 3Z Breezy's 8 goals there and scoring 2 more for himself. So just a really, really impressive and fun game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Great showing here from Soondubu Strikers with a really fun comp as well. You know, I'm a big fan. I've always been a big fan of Aragoli, even when it wasn't cool.
You were on the train before anyone else.
I was so far ahead of this. I was so far ahead of my time, and you laughed at me. They laughed at me. But no, it's awesome to see it all coming together with the. I mean, they got like basically every awakening they could have wanted to make this the speed train, the foot race happen, and boy did it happen. So yeah, Soondubu Strikers looking really solid, and going into game two, I'm curious if they're going to keep this up. If the era goalie is going to continue to make another appearance, and they're just going to keep playing with the speed here on AtLab. It is a stacks and twin drive start, so like, could you ask for something more perfect? I mean, I don't know. That's a very interesting start.
It is a very interesting start. Stacks is now more than ever an incredibly risky awakening to take, right?
Yeah.
If I had a guess, I'm guessing that Showtime are probably going to go um double stacks on their forwards. Barcode is the one that might opt for twin drive depending on which goalie he ends up picking here. But I am not sure whether or not the Soondubu Strikers will go for stacks, but certainly when people pick stacks, the biggest thing that we see is that the value of KOs increases dramatically, right? Because if you can get rid of your opponent's stacks, you're essentially, applying a swing to the speed of the game, right? Because they're getting a dead awakening, essentially, if you're killing them enough. And if you're picking stacks on your own team and staying alive, then you're getting to take that tempo and run away with it. We're
Yeah.
seeing a bit of a run back here. It's a now first pick for the Soondubu Strikers, and we're seeing Mako picked up, presumably for Barcode again, because that Atlas was denied away. But this time, it's Asher, and I have to imagine that is the Joker running his Asher pick, one of his signature strikers. I'm excited to see what he does with it.
Yeah, more than likely here. I mean, these are pretty solid comfort picks on a pretty decent start here. Twin Drive is hard to go wrong with. It will be Juliet here for 3Z Breezy as well. And a DUBU locking down the backfield for Soondubu Strikers with the Twin Drive. Makes DUBU exponentially stronger at holding. I think especially on Atlas Lab, DUBU with Twin Drive can hold down those bottom like corner pushes so well. So well. It's very difficult to get it through just by like stuffing it. So I think that's a really solid pick up against Joker's Asher, and it will be Aimi for Xianzhu here. So this is going to be interesting. I really like what Soondubu Strikers have cooked up. They're kind of rolling with what they had before. I mean, you can't go wrong with Grimilla on now. You really can't. You still have 3Z rocking the Juliet, and you have this impenetrable wall Barcode who's basically going to sit on one barrier and hold it down forever. So it's going to be interesting. I think this Aimi might be a little bit of an X factor. I don't know. Like, I can't say exactly how good it's going to be against this, but it's Xianzhu piloting it, so it'll at least be decently good. But I'm just curious to see how it's going to end up playing out right now. I imagine it's going to be a lot of twin drives coming out, maybe stacks on some midfielders, or like maybe on Grimilla. I don't know. Twin drive's pretty good, but we'll see here. So we're jumping into game two in just a moment now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure how this Aimi is going to work because we've seen Xianzhu get some success on it, but usually I think the bigger trend is that Xianzhu loves his speed midfielders, and it's really hard to see him reach the same level of success off of those speed midfielders with stacks on stacks start. If he's able to keep stacks on stacks and he's running mag souls as well, it'll practically be like he's playing a speed midfielder, especially with Barcode, buffing him with this twin drive Mako from behind. So maybe that's some of the logic that went in here. Xianzhu said, you know what, I don't need to play Kai, I don't need to play Era, the now is already gone, but I can play anything because I've got Mako buffing me and I've got, a bunch of speed from the stacks on stacks. So we'll see. We'll see if that is how it plays out, but it looks like we've correctly predicted, Lego, that both of these goalies have opted for Twin Drive just because of the sheer value of both of the secondaries on DUBU and Mako. Everyone else is going for those stacks on stacks. So we saw 3Z Breezy get quite a few KOs last game on this Juliet. If he's able to replicate that, again, high value stuff. But we do also have Joker playing essentially Juliet 2 on the Asher pick. So both of these brawlers have their dash punch potentials to really swing the tempo of this match by finding KOs out of thin air.
I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends up being one of the longer ones we see today, just because of... I mean, we do see that Showtime's goal is open at the moment, but I think a lot of these matches is going to be like what Shapeshifting's doing right now, where the melee lockdown goalie with the twin drive is literally just going to sit on this one barrier. It's going to be very difficult to stuff it through, because, I mean, even with Juliet and Asher, who are traditionally very good at stuffing, I mean, it's an unstoppable force versus an immovable object, really. And still, Showtime not able to bring down this second barrier. I imagine they're going to have significant struggle with that, but it will be Soondubu Strikers. A perfect setup here for Grimella. Allows 3Z to find that dash punch for the fourth point going to them, but I'd buckle in because I think this is going to be a long one.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like, I think the only reason that point went so fast is because Barcode burned so many of his abilities at range and didn't have anything to respond to 3Z Breezy suddenly being up in his face. Generally, the Mako into Juliet matchup is actually pretty Mako favored. She's got a lot of tools to shut down Dash Punch, and she can pretty comfortably hold herself against kind of the strike onslaught, which 3Z is, particularly good at chaining his abilities together to just kind of outstrike through a defense. So Barcode has a response to a lot of those things, but 3Z is just outplaying it here with Shapeshifting there to back him up, and Grimella and Xianzhu both already have their stacks on stacks online here.
Yeah, Showtime losing their barriers a bit early yet again. Having some room for Soondubu Strikers to just keep the pressure on, and now it's significantly harder for Barcode to be able to defend against this open net. You have 3Z in the corner and Grimella able to rotate really, really fast and cover the open sides of the net. Meanwhile, core flip here from the Joker. Shapeshifting, burning everything. I think it's Grimella who actually got the clear there, but still holding on to the barrier either way. A pass up to 3Z Breezy, looking for the dribble. The snare drum's coming out from Barcode, and it'll just bounce back around. We head deep into this overtime. Pass to 3Z Breezy and core flip from Barcode. Down to the Joker, dashing in, but the donut's just going to drop out. Core flip from Xianzhu, send it in. There's a pass putter, but a simple log. The humble log, and a pass to 3Z Breezy, who yet again gets another goalie KO and dunks it in. Soondubu Strikers off to a blazing start this game, doing exactly what they really planned to do coming into this game with this comp. It seems like Showtime are actually kind of struggling to execute.
Yeah, well, I mean, 3Z is doing such a fantastic job of punishing in the enemy goal box, right? You cannot let your guard down for a second around this guy. Like, Barcode has to have constant vigilance here against 3Z, because if he steps just a pixel too far back, 3Z is up in your face, and you are going to pay for it dearly. All four forwards now have their stacks on stacks online, though, so this is, big speed on all of the offensive players in this match. And with the help of that Mako secondary, that means Joker's just going to be able to solo 1v1 through Shapeshifting, but when you send it back to 3Z Breezy, that's a quick 3-0 set for the Soondubu Strikers, and Lego, this game might be faster than we were anticipating.
Yeah, I feel like the defense of Showtime definitely falling apart a little bit here sooner than I would have expected. Certainly looking a bit rough, and now Grimella going to get the first pick here. Looks like the Manu going over to the Now. Very solid pickup. Saw it last game. Just going to be applying huge speed boost, and I mean, when 3Z Breezy can run fast, he can do basically anything. Peak performance to this IME demo to 3Z, who's just going to be getting... I mean, honestly, that's worth so much value, I think, at this point, with how quickly they're able to take down Showtime's barriers. Might for Joker, Glass Cannon for Shapeshifting, a solid goalie awakening, and Hotshot here for Barcode. I gotta say, I really love what Soondubu came out of that draft with.
Yeah, I think they're feeling very strong, especially because that might pick on Joker, I have to imagine, was mainly a deny away from Shapeshifting, who's rocking the Pauldron's DUBU this game. You really don't want to give DUBU a ton of power to the point where, he can start red pouring off of those strikes. But he still comes out of it with Glass Cannon. That's still power on this DUBU, and on top of that, he gets speed. We're seeing Shapeshifting walk all the way up to the midfield here to contribute to this offense. He was doing this last set as well, but now it's just even more strong with the help of Glass Cannon. So yeah, I absolutely agree, Lego. Soondubu are absolutely getting the greater edge in that draft. I think it's going to take a little more than what Showtime are putting to the table right now to get past how cleanly Soondubu are playing in combination with the fantastic drafts they're coming out on top with.
Yeah, Soondubu, it really feels like they're coming into these games with a plan, a very clear-cut plan, and they're finding the awakenings they need, and they're playing the playstyle that they need to execute it. I mean, it's got similarities to what they did last time, but there's certainly some key differences, and it's still all coming together pretty darn well as we head into overtime. And Shapeshifting still has that single barrier, which is all that they really need to keep these rounds on absolute lockdown, because the pressure from 3Z and Gramilla is just so much that when the core gets past Joker for even a moment, they have to do everything just to hold them off, and then when they want to rotate back to offense, it's just Asher versus DUBU. And in these cases, it looks like DUBU is just kind of winning these interactions, just going to have the space and the lockdown to be able to make it out more consistently. That being said, they will be able to open up the goal here. The snare drums onto 3Z Breezy. Gramilla looking for the top side. Golan's going to be able to find it with the primary. Soondubu Strikers continuing to look strong, scoring the first point here in set 2.
It seems like they're always just one little offensive edge over top of Showtime, right? Because Showtime, they're still finding barriers. They're doing their normal explosive offense, where they're able to just kind of, in the blink of an eye, take down a barrier after what seems like an eternity. But it's very often that Soondubu are able to just convert right back onto offense on the other side of that happening, right? And it's if they're getting, on average 1 to 2 more offensive plays than Showtime, statistically, we said that both offensive matchups are unfavored. 3Z's not making it look that way, though. I mean, this dude is absolutely bowling over Barcode every chance he gets. But just those 1 to 2 extra offensive opportunities is going to mean miles upon miles of success for Soondubu.
And 2 core flips available now as well, as they are moving across this field at the moment. Core flip here from Joker to bring down the first barrier, but that's the problem, is it's only the first barrier, and Shapeshifting only wants to hold the bottom one, it seems like. Just burning Showtime's resources every chance that they can get, making them pay but as much as they can for every inch of ground. An immediate, almost a double. Looks like it could be a double. They're forcing it hard. The KO comes out from 3Z, and it is a double now. Shapeshifting up, gets put in jail for a bit, but Gramilla with the core, just continuing to put shots on net. Won't find the point, but always good for the Soondubu Strikers. A pass down to Shapeshifting and Gramilla as they work their way back up the field here. The KO coming out from 3Z Breezy yet again onto Barcode. And the core going right into the goal. Gramilla with the point. I mean, 3Z putting on a show here for sure. Gramilla the MVP, and up 2-0 against Showtime.
Yeah, I mean, Shapeshifting and Gramilla did a fantastic job navigating around Xianzu there. Forced out the blink, and then just passed around him on the back line. And I feel it important to point out that 3Z has not had any damage awakenings this whole game. He's still not going to have any damage awakenings. He's just grabbing more size, which, I mean, I guess if you're getting kills without the damage awakenings, why do you need to pick up the damage awakenings? So fair enough, 3Z. He sees the vision here. So yeah, this dude has just been finding kills through sheer force of catching just the momentary slip-ups that Showtime are making, right? Yeah, if the previous 2 sets are any sign of how the rest of this game is going to go, I fear for Showtime's future.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they're forcing Barcode to play so far back against this open net because of the way they're just passing this core around. Like, if he moves forward at all, the core is going to slip past him. So it feels like he's kind of forced back into the net, and that's for 3Z is being able to find all these goalie KOs. Nice little snipe there from Barcode and Xianzu to pick up that first barrier here. Now it's 1-1. Both teams looking for control over this core. 3Z dashing in, getting around the bottom side again. Core flip here on the line, just punches it through all 3 members of Showtime. What a flex from 3Z Breezy to dunk it in. And Soondubu Strikers now 2 points away from running away with this. I mean, 3Z is already at 116 stacks. Gramilla is already at 70. Showtime, they are running out of opportunities to come back into this game.
Yeah, a big difference in this game compared to the previous one is 3Z was forced to come back on defense last game, right? That's why Barcode was getting the free Mako secondaries off, is because you needed 3Z to help clear the core off of that Inky's barrier. Here on AtLab, Gramilla and Shapeshifting are making this defense look so easy. I mean, Joker's having to work so hard just to force cooldowns out from them. And then eventually they find the clear, right? There we go, another clean clear, and Joker once more finds no reward, which leaves 3Z free to go bully Barcode. Every time Barcode has been putting up this Mako secondary, 3Z has just walked over calmly, punched him with the Juliet punch. He's not doing it this time. This time he's coming back to help on defense, but for the most part, Showtime have not been getting any benefit from these Mako secondaries, which is kind of their only way to contest what's being put out by Soondubu Strikers here. And when it's a Soondubu power play like it is right now, it's not going to last much longer for Showtime.
And 3Z about to have another core flip up in just a moment here as well. Picks up the orb. And now it's available. Joker desperately trying to bring down this barrier. Is going to be able to find it here. And slipping it right in. The red core from Barcode sneaks it past all of them. Showtime finally putting a point up on the board, but feels like more of a fluky score than you would like to see on a situation like this. But a point is a point, and it does give them slightly more room to work with. One extra round of life. We'll see if they're able to capitalize on it or not. 3Z does burn the core flip a bit early here. Core flip here from Xianzhu, totally boxed in by Grimilla and Shapeshifting's creations, though. Nowhere to send that. And now Grimilla with the core pushing back up the field. The huge secondary forcing Barcode into a bad situation. The barrier's gone, and the goal, once again, is opened up on Showtime's side. 3Z looking to work up the field. Grimilla on the top side here as well, though Xianzhu able to make a little breakaway and push through these barriers. Not able to find anything, though. Soondubu so quick to rotate back and just hold it down. Firewall Sentry coming out here. Get some damage onto Grimilla, but just going to heal right back up. Breezy Breezy off the black hole. Pass up to Grimilla here, but Xianzhu right there to respawn. Shapeshifting holding down that top corner so well. Still both barriers alive. As we head into overtime. Drops the Tofu Fortress. Showtime, not much it feels like they can do. Core flip here from Joker. Picks up one barrier from across the field. But they still need to find another. Can't catch up to the core in time. Xianzhu trying to send it back in, but 3Z with the flip available gets put into the jail. Taking a lot of damage while in there. If they can pick up a KO, that'd be huge, but this Juliet wants this core. Barcode has to burn the flip to try and get him out of there. Pox the recovery drone, but just going to heal right back up. And that's the trouble. You got to kill him twice, and 3Z Breezy 6 KO streak on the respawn. Brings it to the bottom and dunks it right in. This guy feels unstoppable at the moment. It is now series points for Soondubu Strikers.
Let's brag about the insane momentum that every aspect of the Soondubu Strikers had going from that point. They already had killed Joker the previous point going in, so Joker was down on stacks. They killed Xianzhu at the end of that point. It took a whole minute. We were in overtime before Showtime found their first barrier, and even then, they found that barrier through a core flip. That tells you how bad it is. When you have these top players willing to burn core flip for barrier 1, you're in trouble. But that being said, it's Soondubu in trouble right now as it's a power play for Xianzhu, Joker, and Barcode. They managed to find Shapeshifting there, and they'll grab both barriers shortly thereafter.
Taking Shapeshifting off the map. Only a good way to pick up a point potentially. Not able to find it here. But Breezy dribbling back up the field, has the flurries, looks for the dash punch, doesn't quite have the distance to get Barcode. But has a core flip available here, slinging into the top side. Soondubu Strikers closing it out, knocking the champs out of the lower bracket. And Soondubu Strikers, what a series from them. They will be moving on.
That's the end of the run for Showtime.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's the end of the run. I mean, after, like you said, these guys were the reigning champs, and Soondubu just stomped them like it was nothing. It was such a... I was impressed with how handily they won in game 1, and then, I mean, this game, Showtime literally only got one goal, and it was that weird fluke goal that was scored by Barcode Hotshot with the Mako primary. Every single other moment of that match was completely owned by the Soondubu Strikers. We had 6 KOs on 3Z. Shapeshifting even managed to pick up 1. And Grimella demonstrating his normal midfield dominance, 175 redirects, and just 49 shots from Grimella as well. And 39 to 3Z shows how consistently they were up in Barcode's face. And Barcode had the least redirects in that match, Lego. Only 96. This dude was under 100 redirects. because Gramella and 3Z were just outplaying him every step of the way. That is about as dominant of a victory as you can ask for. And when it's up against the reigning champs of the North American Strikers League, I would imagine that the Soondubu Strikers are feeling an all-time high right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they played fantastically both of those games. I think they had excellent comps, like excellent team comps, excellent drafting. They knew what they were doing. They had the synergy among characters. They had the synergy among themselves, and not only that, they executed it. They executed it really well, and we only hope that they carry that momentum into their future matches. Just to see this team make a really deep playoffs run, I think would be a lot of fun for a lot of people. So great to see them off to such an amazing start here. But that's all for this series, and that's all for us, Cloak. You have anything else you want to say before we head out of here?
No, I'm just eager to see how the rest of the season plays out, Lego. Those were two fantastic series to cast with you, and enjoy what we have for the rest of the night. Next week, we'll be finishing it out, and I mean, it's been one hell of a season, Lego. Can't wait to see
Yeah,
what else
yeah,
happens.
absolutely. Well, we're throwing it to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have plenty more playoffs on Mega Strikers for you guys. So don't go anywhere.